Morning. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Taco Tuesday. Everybody go out there and once again support your favorite taco truck. Um, this is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. We don't recommend any investments to buy. We don't know your personal situation. So please do your own due diligence. If we can help you by learning more about you, having an actual interview, we'd be happy to support you at that point. So this is Mornings with Michael. We're going to take a look at, we have put a PowerPoint presentation together today. We'll share that with you. And let's go to our screen first. I have a bunch of pictures there, so I don't have the heat map that I was looking for. Let me bring that up. Now I can share the screen with you. Here's the heat map. Retail sales came in pretty hot. Federal Reserve will not like that very much. And we'll look at the bond interest rates. But Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA is down big because the government is putting greater restrictions on selling to China. And some think they're going to lose 70 cents on their next earnings. Some other chip equipment sales were hurt by that news as well. Google and Meta are doing fine, thank you very much. In healthcare, Lilly is down, AbbVie is up, oil is up, financial is a mixed bag, Amazon is down, Tesla is up slightly. Their earnings are coming either today or tomorrow after the close. Utilities are down, and so that's a look at our heat map. And let me share the screen again. Here is our annuity look-see. I believe that most people should be in this type of an investment because you have no fear. You can sleep better at night knowing that your money is secured. It will not lose money. It will go up a step and it will not come down the step. Whereas the indices, index investing will come down as these bond interest rates pressure stocks to sell off. As you can see, annuity average annual growth beats index investing by about 5%. And this is because they give a large bonus on any new money coming into the account. So that's our look at that. And let's bring up a chart as we go through some of the news. Here's Meta Platforms kind of holding steady. I'm not sure if this is today or yesterday, so let's clear the chart. It's up to 322, up $1.03. So let's first take a look at the dollar index. Dollar index is up slightly. As you can see, it's been very strong. It's working on a cup with a handle. Let's see if it breaks out here. This is going to be hard on the multinational corporations stocks because they have to buy the high dollar amount and then sell in Europe or what other country, and it will be high price compared to what their in state or in nation competitor is at. So that's that. Can look at gold. And gold is tried to move up, hit its 200-day moving average and sold off. Silver Amazing. Silver is actually up. It's trying to get up to its 50-day moving average. It's at 1% today. Take a look at our copper. Copper is trying to hold the bottom. Southern Copper is up as well. Freeport McMoran is up as well, up 1%. Trying to look for Albemarle. Probably misspelling it. We'll look at that a little later once I look up the symbol. So let's go to see how our bonds are doing. Yeah, they skyrocket. They gapped up yesterday and they gapped up again today. The gap today is up a little higher. I guess this is still an inside day because it's below where it was up here, but it is up right around 4.9%, 4.85, up 2.82% today. And our 20-year is gapping up, huge gap up yesterday, and another big gap up today. It's at 4.24. Look at the volatility index. It's moving up. It's not as high as I would have thought it would be, but it is moving up off the bottom. We think it's going to go above 20 again. S&P 500 selling off, down 0.26%. And the equal weighted is actually up 0.27%. Maybe the oil stocks are up. Weatherford is up almost 1%. ExxonMobil is up about 1%. The oil tankers up 1.53%. This one was up and it sold off. Frontline is up 0.64%. So there you have that. For the NASDAQ, it's down to its 50-day moving average. It had gone under, and I was fighting to stay above it, down 0.54%. Look at the equal weighted NASDAQ. It's still under its 50-day, not quite as bad. The small caps, look at that. Small oil companies are helping it out. Maybe the banks maybe some banks are earning good on the interest. So Dow Jones is off about 0.25%. Financials holding steady. Transports holding steady. Oil is really jumping today. See the oil pricing. It's off slightly today. So it's interesting the oil stocks are up. Communication with Google and Meta leading the way. It is kind of flat. Real estate takes a dive here, down 0.75%. Biotech holding steady. Look at the other biotech is off slightly. Software bounces back. I saw that ServiceNow was up big time earlier. Was up $22, so it's paired its gains, up only 15.60. So it's up almost 3%. So K, got Microsoft in here. It's off a little bit. CRM, which is more in the software space. Apple is trying to fight back, fighting the good fight. Semiconductors, I would think they would be selling off, but they're fighting back with it. Further restrictions. Jets holding strong, but they've come off quite a bit. Building materials up 0.6%. Metals and mining, based on the gold, silver, and copper, I would think it would be up, and it's up pretty strong today. I'm not sure what the volume is. Looks like it's going to be about pretty close to yesterday. And I would think the home builders would be down. And they're going against the grain. So let's look at that action. Let's take a look at what's happening in the markets. Company news, interesting data point. The 10-year 3-month yield curve has now been inverted for a record 232 trading days, while the 10-year 2-year curve has been inverted for 320 straight trading days, the second longest streak on record. And I believe it was Bank of America said this is the worst bear market in bonds ever. So we'll take a look at some of the charts I got on our PowerPoint a little later. Bank of Japan is likely to discuss raising its inflation projection for the fiscal year 2023 and 2024 at its policy meeting later this month, extending the period in which it sees prices hitting or exceeding its 2% goal. On to our consumer news. Choice Hotels proposes to buy Wyndham. And on that news, they sell off pretty hard. Wyndham for $90 per share in a cash and stock transaction. Wyndham is gapping up, which would be a 30% premium to the latest closing price, and total deal valued at $70 billion. Would pay $49.50 in cash and 0.324 in shares. Mondelez upgraded to outperform from neutral at Exane BNP Paribas, and they're jumping on that news, up a little over 1%. Onto energy, industrials, and materials. APA downgraded to market perform from outperform at Bernstein, and the stock moves up anyway. DVN, Devon Energy, downgraded to market perform to outperform at Bernstein, and the stock moves up anyway. EOG, oh, I guess he's just downgrading everything based on price. EOG doesn't really care either. And finally, NOV downgraded to underweight from equal weight at Barclays, and they initially moved down, and now they're moving up, fighting a real good fight, up 2%. Into financials, Bank of America Q3 EPS 90 cents versus estimate 81 cents. Stock is up 61 cents or 2.26%. You can't really see it here. So let's take a look at the 60-minute chart. It gapped up here and has moved up higher still. Bank of New York, Q3 adjusted EPS $1.27 versus $1.15. Initially sold off. They didn't like it at the beginning, but the more they heard, the better they liked it. Earnings surprise of 9%. Volume is stratospheric almost. Not the biggest ever, but it's still early in the day, up 3.7%. On to CrossFirst Bank shares. CFB is a ticker symbol, Q3 adjusted EPS 37 cents versus estimate 32 cents. And the shares are jumping. The shareholders, I'm sure, are jumping for joy. Equity Lifestyle, Q3 normalized FFO 71 cents versus estimate of 72 cents. And they are jumping as well. On to First FB Financial, FBK, Q3 adjusted EPS 71 cents versus estimate of 69 cents, and it's 4% gain to almost a 3% surprise, but not enough to really lift the spirits too much. It's up almost 0.9%. Service First, Q3 EPS 98 cents versus 95 cents, and it gapped down pretty strong. It's trying to fight back, but it's still under where end of the day yesterday. Healthcare, Johnson & Johnson, Q3 EPS $2.66 versus $2.51 estimate. Tried to move higher and then it sold off. 19% gain. 22.60 earnings surprise. Just not enough for some people's expectations. CRSP, CRISPR Therapeutics, downgraded to neutral from overweight at Cantor. It's trying to hold on there. Technology, Media, and Telecom. Adtran said sees preliminary Q3 revenue $272.3 million versus estimate $288.2. People are not going to like that. And it's down 3.44%. NetScout Systems cuts full year 24 EPS view to $2 to $2.20 from $2.20 to $2.32. And people are not going to like that. And it is down almost 17%, 865% jump in volume. Ericsson said it expected the uncertainty impacting the mobile networks business to persist into 2024 after reporting of fall in Q3 revenue as demand for 5G equipment fell in North America. Networks organic sales in North America were down by 60% from last year as telecom customers adjusted their inventory and were slower to roll out new equipment. And it's gapping down on the news, down about 3.5%. Amazon trying to hold up there. Booking. It's up slightly, but it's on its lows. Expedia is up about 1.5%, bucking the trend here. TripAdvisor up slightly. And TrustPoint Group PLC and Glassdoor said they have teamed up to create the global coalition for trusted reviews to quash proliferation of fake online reviews. Interesting. Viasat upgraded to overweight from neutral at JP Morgan, saying investors should be encouraged by the satellite company's increased cost discipline. And they're moving up pretty strong today. 8.23%, 80% increase in volume. And finally, in the news, Taiwan Semiconductor said it would not build an advanced chip factory in the rural part of northern Taiwan after local residents protested that they did not want to move to accommodate an expansion of an industrial park. And Taiwan Semiconductor is down slightly. We looked at NVIDIA earlier. Trying to bring up, let's see where stocks are moving today. ACM Research sells wafer jet equipment. It's up pretty big, up nearly 8%. Huge volume today on this issue. Earnings in 2023 up 55%, up another 7% next year. AstraZeneca, which has an office here in South San Francisco, is up pretty strong after selling off earlier, up 2.37%. Woodward designs and manufactures energy control and optimization equipment, is up pretty big. They have the blue dot, so we got a new high in the relative strength line. Pretty good volume down here. What is there not to like? 52% earnings increase this year and 17% next year. Could look at where who's investing in this. I guess none of the A+ rated funds are there yet. Verona Systems breaking out. Relative strength line, new high, up nearly 3%. Volume is coming up. It's not as high as yesterday, but yesterday was through the roof. AVNV tried to move higher today, but sold off. Once you can see over here, once it broke out, it did pull back and it went underneath where it gapped up to, which is our indicator we're always looking for, but it did get support over here. And now it's moving up off of that support. I think Investors Business Daily said this was an early buy opportunity here. So apparently they're partnering with a couple of AI type devices for robots and unmanned aircraft, drones in warfare. So I'd continue to look at this one. This is really a shining star in that area. Unum Group provides group and individual disability insurance and group life insurance mainly in the US and the UK. And it's breaking out today on slight increase in volume, started yesterday. Super Microcomputers, San Jose company, up pretty big today, pretty good volume, up nearly 3%. This might have been a cup with a handle, could be a double bottom as well. And finally, Oakland's owned Elf Beauty, trying to pick up off the bottom here, see if it can take another run. Went up to 139, almost 140 before it sold off. Consolidated, looks like we got a double bottom going here. So that's a look at those issues. We looked at some of them down in price. Lululemon is selling off today after being up big yesterday, but it's nothing really to worry about. Cocoa water selling off, had a pretty huge run here. Genmab is down, but it's been down for a while. Vanguard long-term treasuries, the bonds are continue to sell off as interest rates drive higher. And the last one we'll look at is this one. NetScout Systems is down 16%. Wow. So I'm going to stop the share here so we can go to our PowerPoint. Share the screen. Here we go. So bankruptcy filings surged to dangerous levels. Look at these high numbers before the 2008 Great Recession, 2020 COVID pandemic crisis, and now it's right at the peak here again in 2023. 4-week moving average of U.S. bankruptcy filings. We move on. They said the September jobs report looked good, but when we look under the hood, there's 151,000 part-time job holders, 22,000 full-time job holders, but look at this, 123,000 multiple job holders. And I've been out in the field and I've talked to numerous people, and they're working 2 full-time jobs just to meet the expenses of this inflation that's going on out there. They're working 8 hours at one job and 7 hours at another job just to keep up with everything out here, which is not good. If they lose one of those jobs or it goes down to part-time due to the recession, some of these people are in trouble. The increase, now when we look further at the jobs, look at this. This is really small numbers. These are the people who are supposed to be leading our country forward. And most of the jobs are being held from 65 to 75 and older. They can no longer afford to pay with Social Security with all this inflation out there. So they have to go back to work. This is really sad. People holding 2 full-time jobs is an all-time high. Look at that. All-time high of 447,000 people are struggling to make ends meet. And they're trying to rebrand Bidenomics as being a great thing. Doesn't look like it here. Interest rates and commercial bank credit cards now at an all-time high. Are these people going out and continuing to spend as they were in the pandemic when Uncle Sam was giving them free money? This is very dangerous. Now, U.S. bank losses on held to maturity assets have soared to an all-time high of $400 billion. Look at this. Held to maturity assets of $400 billion. And I would guess guesstimate there's at least 90 banks that are kind of at risk over here. And our final chart here is the greatest treasury bear market of all time from 2020 to today. That's 3 years. Got over 3 years. We're almost going into the 4th year. Date of market peak, 7/31/2020. Date of market trough, 10/31/22. Look at all these negative numbers. We're looking at 1860, 1835, 1979, 1811, 1833. And we're now living in by far the worst bear market of all time. This is from Bank of America Global Investment Strategy. There you have it. Can it get any worse? It always can get worse. We just have to hope that it can get better. But let's just keep our confidence up, keep going after our goals and our activities, and let's turn this thing around. Don't want to end on a bad note, but you can do more to change the face of our country than you think. Just go out there with a positive mindset. Buy your taco on Taco Tuesday. Help out that taco truck owner. And let's all work together to turn this thing around. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Go out there and have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.